We have heard about it. He is currently a bearer of the He for She Award from the United Nations. He's been given a gold standard level. This is a governor who has 50% of his appointees women. You can clap. His administration in 2021 already enacted a gender commission law which mandates Kwara to have the affirmative action we've all been clamoring for. Before he came into office, there was really no woman leader. Today, they are boasting of 5, I believe, in your House of Assembly, which is probably just next to my husband's state, my home state, Ekiti. They have 6 in their House of Assembly. Please give them these 2 states a round of applause. So, and they have the youngest honorable sitting next to me here, Rukaya Shitu. She's the youngest member House of Assembly in the country. She's a woman. The point I'm trying to make is that Kwara is doing it. All these our clamoring, right? Kwara has done it. So this conversation is, what are the women doing? How are they empowering other women? And more importantly, how are they functioning in the portfolio that has been given to them? Because it's one thing to empower a woman. It's another thing for them not to do anything. So my conversation with these women is, okay, they've empowered you. What are you doing for your work, and what are you doing for the women? So you're very, very welcome. Let me start with you, because you are the closest to me. Let's start with your portfolio, before I get to the issue of being a woman, how it was challenging and all that. The work that has been, that you were elected to do, how has it been faring, and what accomplishments have you done so far in your regard?
Good morning, it's my pleasure to be here, and also all protocols are duly observed. Back to the question because of time. What have I been doing with my portfolio as an honorable member of the Kwara State House of Assembly, chairing a committee, chairperson House Committee on Sports, Information, Youth and Tourism. Firstly, I must say we are 5, and 5 of us as a woman at the State House of Assembly. Our voices are very audible enough, and no one will say, what did they have to say? What can they do? From my own instance, I would say presently, Kwara State, we're already working on a bill. That's the, during President Tinubu inauguration, one of the things he assented to there is the Electricity Act, whereby he gave every state to generate and distribute powers if they have the means. And presently, Kwara State House of Assembly, led by Engineer Sali Yakubu Danladi, with the support of His Excellency Governor Abdurrahman Abdurazak, happens to be the one working on that bill presently. And part of the motions I have done so far, one of the most important things that I did is this regulation of drug abuse content on social media. I think I have that in the public space recently. This is because looking at the rate at which youth are engaged in drug abuse in our country, we would see is very, very irrational. And at this point, I think what every young people are seeing is all these celebrity, the way they use social media to promote drug abuse content. This is someone they felt it is encouraging, but which is not. But part of it, which Kwara State House of Assembly has sent a recommendation to the National Assembly, which I did also, is that there should be a need for the country to regulate the social media. So this is a part of what we've done at the State Assembly and other things as well. So let me stop here.
Fantastic.
For other people.
Please give her a round of applause. She's not just there, she's a woman, she's also working. I'll come to you, Hajia, in education. give us a snippet, because we're still going to talk about how you're empowering other women in the rural areas. But let's start with the portfolio you're giving in education. What have you done so far, and what are the information you think we can learn from you so far?
Thank you so much. I would like to also stand on the already established protocol. Good morning, distinguished ladies and gentlemen in the House. I would want to publicly, not for the camera now, give His Excellency Governor Abdulrahman Abdulrazak a standing ovation. Thank you so much. He has given us a platform, and what we knew right from the inception of his administration is that he had given women a chance to thrive. So it was left for the women to do their bit to make him proud, and in that way, other men would also be able to see, because, I mean, people are watching. Yeah. We had a few challenges when we came on board. The first cabinet was inaugurated in 2019, and you would see on social media the opposition and men continue to say, oh, what are they doing? What are these women exactly doing? You know, so we knew we had to put in our best to do the best in the portfolio that we had been given. Right. So we set a goal. I mean, I set a goal for myself, and of course my colleagues did the same, because in the first cabinet we even had more women than men when we were inaugurated. What I decided to do in the Ministry of Education and Human Capital Development was to work with the children. What we had previously from the past administration was commissioners that were mainly in the office or at the central. But I knew that I had this work cut out for me. I wasn't a commissioner for the office, and I wasn't a commissioner for Ilorin in itself. So we had to move out of Ilorin, not to inspect projects now, but to access learning and teaching in the rural communities, in the marginalized communities. So that was the way we started. And we have continued to sustain that. I mean, we have set a pace for whoever will be coming to that state. Right. So basically, that is what I have done with my portfolio.
Please give her a round of applause. Let me come very quickly now to the Commissioner for Education. Give us a snippet again, in 2 minutes, what you've done so far, and how we can also learn from your own ministry.
Sorry. Sorry, you said education. That's why I was thinking.
No, I was done with that. I was coming over to you. Communication.
Okay. So, good morning, everyone. Permit me to go with the well-established protocol. Commissioner for Communication. I actually oversee the other side, the creative economy as well, in Kwara State. And like she mentioned, in the first term of our governor, Malam Abdulrahman Abdulrazak, we had it was a 53%. In terms of cabinet composition. Yeah. But right now we have 50-50. Not only do we have 50-50, we have women in key ministries that are doing wonders. And with these women being in key ministries, we are defining the way policies are being formulated. We are bringing diverse perspectives to the table. Unlike before, everything we do now, we have the women on top burner. We consider them first and how it affects them. So across Kwara State, our governor is not just a he for she. He's a walk and talk governor about gender inclusion. Women, we all understand how things, we've listened to our various speakers earlier today who talked about not giving women a platform to talk and everything. In Kwara State, women have a platform to talk. Many people did not know the Commissioner for Communications was a woman. They were all thinking I was a man because of the kind of work I do, until circumstances brought that I had to see that I was a woman. And for the governor of Kwara State, Malam Abdulrahman Abdulrazak, when you talk about empowering women, it's not about cash. It's about giving them knowledge. It's about creating a platform for them to excel, build themselves. He's particular about capacity building, especially among the women folk. So when we are here, we're talking about gender equality. And the good thing about it is that our governor is the chairman of the Governors Forum. He's trying to make sure that other states adapt
Right.
this 35% inclusion.
Fantastic. Well done. Please give her a round of applause. Let me come right now to the Commissioner for Environment, I believe is next. Yes. Please give us in 2 minutes what you've done so far in your ministry as you've been empowered by your governor.
Thank you very much. Good morning to all the wonderful women here present. Permit me to stand on the already established protocol. My name is Nafisa, and just like we have the Honorable Member House of Assembly here, as the youngest legislature in Nigeria, I am the youngest commissioner in Nigeria. So for us in Kwara, the priority is women and young people, the youth. And I was previously in the Ministry of Youth Development before I got redeployed 2 months ago in the Ministry of Environment and Forestry in Kwara State. And for me, I think to somebody who know about Kwara before now, maybe 3 months ago, and who decided to visit Kwara again, would definitely see the difference in the environment of Kwara. Kwara is now cleaner. Kwara is now looking more beautiful due to a woman who is being redeployed to Ministry of Environment. So I think this is one of those things that I've been able to do differently. Before now in the Ministry of Youth, just like the Honorable Commissioner for Education, I decided to design something for myself while I was in the Ministry of Youth that, for me, I want to work with both youth and adolescents. And that is why we had a lot of programs. We did a lot of programs then in the Ministry of Youth Development that involved both women, youth, and adolescents together, because the adolescents turn to degenerate into young people in Kwara State. So for us in Kwara, all thanks to His Excellency, the priority is women, and then the young people. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Let's finally speak to Engineer Omoni. She's the Executive Chairman IRS. Tell us a bit of what you're doing so far in Kwara.
Thank you very much. Good morning, ladies. I'm happy to be here. And to the moderator, in taxation, we are all men, so I'm okay to be referred to as the Executive Chairman rather than the Chairperson. Thank you. I got into the administration of His Excellency 5 years ago as the first female Executive Chairman of the Kwara State Internal Revenue Service. And incidentally, it's not only the 50-50 for cabinet members. In Kwara State, the head of service is female. The chairman of the Civil Service Commission is female. The executive secretary of the primary health care is female. The executive secretary of the health insurance is female. And of course, I think I am one. Okay, so when a lady is given an assignment, the first thing that comes to mind is you need to do a lot better than any man before you can be recognized to have achieved something. So coming into this profession that generally is named for men, it was double trouble, as the case may be. But what we have been able to do in the last 4 going to 5 years, we've been able to successfully double the IGR of Kwara State by 100%, or increase it by 100%, pardon me. And what have we been able to do? As a woman, naturally, we are nurturing. We listen. Emotional intelligence is very, very key. Sometimes you go after the men who don't want to pay, and by the time you bring your instincts to bear, they will just be like, see, I don't want this woman to embarrass me. Just let her go. In addition to that, in the service, we have 50-50. I have 50% of heads of departments as women and 50% as men. So we have all of those things being considered. Now, usually the tax man is somebody who everybody does not want to relate with you. So for our women, especially the women at the lower cadre, we have categories of what we are supposed to collect from them. So we identify the challenges of women, and we appropriately assess them in a way that we don't unnecessarily put so much pressure on them. And it doesn't really matter what you do anyway. For women or for the profession, people will always have issues with you. But we've been able to balance it in such a way that there is a human face to this issue. And generally, people have acknowledged, even without prompting them, that the way we run the organization now is a lot better, and people are able to relate a lot better to how we run our services. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please give her a round of applause. Now, I'm going to come back to Honorable Rukaya, because the crux of the conversation today is a lot about bridging that gap, inclusion of women, especially from the rural areas. Because one of the things that is very dangerous is a woman who has been empowered's ego, the ego of an empowered woman, who is Oga, Madam. That person, the person's ego is more dangerous than that of a man's ego that we're always complaining about. So I'm coming to you, Honorable Rukaya, because now that you've been empowered, how are you connecting to these women that voted you, the rural women? Because you were voted, some were appointed, you were voted. Who voted for you? These women that voted for you, what have you done for them? Are you accessible? And I'm asking 10 questions in one. Are you accessible to these women? Because once we're empowered, we are disconnected from these women that put us in. So help us understand, what are you doing to empower your constituents, especially the women?
Thank you for that question. Immediately we were inaugurated, one of the first things that I did is, this really generated a lot of controversy within the political gladiators then, because I said I wanted to do this by myself while being accompanied with other people. I started working to markets. I'm from a rural environment, Owodionire constituency, agrarian area, totally agrarian area. So we have all these mini markets in my constituency. So I started doing that myself, go there, engage with them. It was, I think it was during the beginning of this first subsidy. So I engaged them. I let them know the situation of the things. This is what the president is trying to do. This is what the governor is doing. So, and I will ask them, how much is this? How much is your goods? Some will say 10,000. Some will say 20,000. So I gave them the token I have just as a support. Okay, if I want to buy what you are selling, how much are you going to sell this for me? But this is not, the most important thing is not the cash that I'm giving them, but engaging them to let them know that a Rome is not built a day. This is a situation whereby we need the country to be reformed, and we need to be patient for the governor, for the president to achieve this goal. So outside that, I did something recently, I think about 2 weeks ago. I just want to pick some, because I've done a lot regarding that. I did something recently. It's about empowering artisans, empowering farmers, empowering people with disability. About almost close to 300 people benefit from what I did there, and cash support to people. And majorly, they are women. If you go to my social media platform, Facebook, Instagram, you will see the pictures of everything, the items we distribute, and majorly they are for women. This is just to empower them. They need to have something that will bring back money for them, at least in their way. They will be able to be, and I want to put it, they will be convenient, they will be comfortable with the little they are taking from it. So these are just two of the things that I've done so far, just to manage time.
Please give a round of applause. Not easy to speak up on what you've done. Let me come to you, Hajia. Some of the data that came from the data that was shared earlier by Taiwo is the fact that one of the reasons why women don't get voted for. Number one says that some say there are very few women running. Secondly, we got the issue of inexperience, because somebody will tell you, oh, Honorable Rukaya is an inexperienced girl. Why would the governor, they even allow her? Not even the governor. Why would the people even vote for her? She's inexperienced. That's the perception people might have. Culture. They said culture is a factor. Either because they're from this religion, that religion, or the people don't believe women should be in leadership. I want you to speak to your governor's thinking and reasoning for empowering such a large number of women. Did he consider culture? Did he consider inexperience? Did he consider the way the religion Because some people can say certain religions will not allow you to be empowered. So could you give us an understanding to the psyche of your governor and why you think he had given women such a platform to express their leadership capabilities?
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for that question. Well, I wouldn't want to commit myself because I don't know what he was thinking when he took the decision, really. But the truth is, the mother of the governor is extremely known in the community. She was the first councillor in Ilorin there. So the background, where he grew from, I think gave him that. That's just the truth. You know, and secondly, I would say because of his background, it's even also had that influence in his work before he even came into politics. Because the fact from what we were told is that when he was working in his private business, he had more of women serving him there that were working together. So I'm sure from that, he had given women the platform even at that time, and he knew what the gains were. So maybe that's the reason he decided to put in more women in his cabinet. And I am a fourth-time commissioner. I started in the Ministry of Science and Technology, but now the third time I was also nominated for my ministry. So I'm sure working with us, he had seen the results. Is the reason he decided to retain women in his cabinet. That's
fantastic. Please give her a round of applause. For those of you that were here during the fireside chat, did you remember when one of our speakers, Inyom Anene, was saying about grassroots politics connecting to the women leaders? That's what her governor's mother was. She was a woman leader. And that, so when that happens, you empower women. People see how genuine you are. And then when you bring support, they are there to actually give their vote to support. Please give them a round of applause. Let me come to you, the Commissioner for Communication, because sometimes when we speak so much grammar, the grassroots, they don't get it. And there's a lot of, I am educated, this is how I want to do things, we're exposed. How are you communicating to your people in the language they understand? Do they know you? You said earlier that initially they thought you were a man. But how are you, or how would you say your government is reaching out specifically to those women in the rural areas who feel always disconnected by government in the first place?
Okay, so I'm going to twist this a little. I'm going to speak in Pidgin. When we dey waka for our rural communities, when I'm speaking Pidgin because we have a mixed crop here. Okay. Okay. You know, if you dey explain to people, say, then go do this, people no go hear. But if you show them, say they don't do this, that waiting they take listen. And for Kwara State, we dey meet them at the point of their conversation. If na market, then they go. You go meet people for market. Grassroots now, no be people where they inside bush. Now people where they make things happen at the community level. So in Kwara State, we know they take women play. Particularly, we know they take young people play. Because we believe, say, if you empower that young person, if you empower that woman, it get as if they go. Maybe say, go make your work day easier. Now, in Kwara State, we reach out because Kwara is in the north central. We have a little bit of the north, a little bit of the south. So we normally pass our messages across through religious leaders. We use faith-based organizations. We use community leaders. Community leaders are quite influential in our local places there in Kwara State. So these are the people we use to drive home our messages. And why do people listen? People listen when they feel part of the government. And how do they feel part of the government? Is having a community engagement with them. We listen to them. We have a feedback mechanism. This is what they want, and this is what we do. In line with the governor's policies and his activities.
Okay, thank you. Please give a round of applause. The next section is going to be for Q&A, so we're going to be taking more comments from our panelists. I'm very curious, I'm not sure if I should direct this to the Commissioner for Environment or anybody who wants to take on this. The issue of influence. I think it was one of our speakers also, when the minister was talking about how our spouses can influence us. From the data, again, a lot of men influence their wives on who to vote for, which party to support, where to pitch their tents. How are you also carrying the men along in your state to connect the vision of the governor? Are the men also aligned, or are they just looking at the governor, wait, very soon you pass away, so that we too will bring in the men back, because they're just wondering, this man, this governor, 50-50, how is that possible? So are the men in your state, are they aligned with his vision, or they are just waiting for him to just finish his 8 years and then bring back status quo and take it back to how they know it to be?
Okay, let me just quickly put this. Has there been a difference in the last 8 years? Yes. That's what is going to define the going forward. People are used to a certain kind of life, but somebody brings a better life by introducing a diverse perspective. So and the thing about the 35% in cabinet, it's been passed into law by the Kwara State House of Assembly. So we're not expecting anybody to come and change it.
I think the Commissioner for Environment wanted to pitch in. Will I say one thing?
Okay, I wanted to say that I think I am not actually in the best position to answer that question when it comes to the issue of spouses' influence, because I'm not married yet. But to some extent, I should be able to chip in something, just like the Commissioner for Communication has said. I think sometimes in Nigeria, let's limit ourselves to our country, and then specifically, Kwara said, what people need, what our men need, is to see somebody that will break the barrier. And when the barrier is broken, and they see a woman performing, honestly, other men will follow suit and they will believe in them. Because what His Excellency has been able to achieve in Kwara State, Kwara being a very special state in the North Central, our cultures, our beliefs, our tradition are more like the Northerners. And I'm sure anyone who is from the northern part of the country will understand better what I'm talking about when it comes to things that are against women in politics, women in public services. But for us in Kwara, we had His Excellency on board. He came to change the narrative. He broke the barrier. And it exposes women's strength. How smart a woman is, how intelligent a woman is, how a woman is able to multitask, how a woman is able to do things better than how a man will be able to do it. And now I tell you that larger percentage of the men in Kwara State now believe that a woman can actually do better 10 times what a man can do.
Wow.
It was His Excellency that championed it, that started it right. But a lot of men today in Kwara State believe so much in us. For instance, bringing it down to my ministry, we do have issues of environmental issues in the state, specifically on waste management. Several commissioners had come and passed. The immediate past commissioner for environment in Kwara was a man. And when I was redeployed to Ministry of Environment, people started saying that, is this governor serious? When a man was not able to do it, how can you bring a young girl into this ministry? What can she do? But a month or two after, I saw comments online. I saw people calling me, people coming to me to say that, oh my God, you convinced us. We never knew you could do this. You are bold. The steps you've taken, they are wonderful. This is men believing in women. I believe that it has to start with somebody. And it's more, they key into it more when a man from the agenda starts it. And that is what His Excellency has done in Kwara State. The influence now is so much that people now believe in voting for women. Like Honorable Rukaya and other state legislators we have, they are doing wonderfully well in their various constituencies. We, the commissioners, we are 10 in number in Kwara State. We are relating well with our people at the grassroots. We are doing well. We are taking dividends of democracy to them. We know that as a woman, in our environment where we come from, for you things
longer, because you said that you were single, you're not married, and that's usually a red flag that how can you be working in politics and you're not married? Are they not philokulo lawyer, as in how do you say it in English? Are they not, offering you things they shouldn't be offering you, especially in your position, because that is a major fear for lots of women. How are you handling that?
Thank you, Morayo. I think as a woman, the first thing you do for yourself is to set up your standard and build your standard. And I've been able to do that right before I am lucky to meet His Excellency, the Governor of Kwara State. Sometimes, what happens in the political environment, so far what I've learned, is over-exaggerated. Because I believe that in an environment, in any setting, where there is man and woman, two opposite sex, certain things are bound to happen. So it is not only meant for political environment alone. Talk of the civil service, you find men and women there. A lot of things are happening. Talk of various other stages, you find men and women there. A lot of things are happening. So it's not just about women and politics. It's about the two genders. Now, as a woman who is trying to break a kind of barrier, coming from where I come from, I'm from a very rural place, a very, grassroots to the core. I was born in the village, raised in the village, my primary school in the village. It was my secondary school and university education that brought me to the state capital in Kwara State there. So I know what it means to start from the grassroots and coming back to the more civilized environment. The political environment is oftentimes over-exaggerated. That is my first point. And as a woman, you have to know what you stand for. What is your standard? What are you set out to achieve? Why are you in politics? If a man comes to me who is also a politician, I believe he's doing that because he's just a man and I'm a woman. I'm not to politics or public service or political environment. All I know is I have a standard. It's a matter of choice. If I want, yes. If I don't want, go to hell.
Fantastic.
So I think
it
shouldn't be about the environment. It shouldn't be about the ilokulo. The ilokulo is always everywhere.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
There is nowhere you go, you not get the ilokulo. So it has to be with your standard as a woman. What do you want? What do you stand for? That's what.
Point taken. I know Honorable Rukaya wants to add to that. I'm not forgetting you, engineer. Let me come to Honorable Rukaya.
I would love to speak on what Honorable Officer has just said. Well, I was elected as a single lady, got married just 3 months after the inauguration. And what I want to say is, before then, so many people will come, I won't be in now this. But she said something about setting standard. And another thing is, you need to be you need to model yourself the way you want people to address you. And this really plays a lot in me while contesting. Though some people experience that, but I can't say I experienced it because I set my standard and I was able to model myself the way I want people to address me. Our business here is what we are doing, politics and governance, nothing outside that. And nobody's coming to me to bring such, because I don't look such. I don't dress such. I don't speak such. I don't think such. So it's about being able to compose yourself to what you want. And this is my goal. So that's it. Thank you very much.
I'm very mindful of time, so I want to make sure that we get all the points. There's another important, let me come to you, engineer, because you are the money person here. Maybe you can give us some insights. You see, when men are in politics, men are somewhat approachable. If I go to maybe my Oga's office here and go and greet Oga, and I'm going, you give me 100,000 naira. Or you say, your children's school fees, how far, what happened? Don't worry, let me send. Women are able to, especially women, especially in the rural areas, can go to somebody's office and say, sir, my children, I need school fees, my husband just died, and you will get something. What's based also on the research that has come, when we approach some of these women leaders, they are not they're very tight-fisted. They're not willing to share. They're not willing to give you. They'll just look at you like, okay, they have been empowered. So women leaders they're not willing to help other women. Yes, we know you are there. You're accessible. But give us something. Understand that my child is getting married. I need your support. Or the community needs your support. They don't do that. We are just very, very uppity and somewhat uptight. In your own view, do you think women, let's talk about Kwara, how are the female leaders there with their constituents? Are they Are they very open-fisted and not tight-fisted? Are they willing to share and give some of the help to their constituents? Anybody can take that question, but I was going to come to engineer if you are willing to. Go ahead, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Your question is very peculiar. And the reason why I say so is you are asking a taxman who is not essentially a politician.
Yeah.
And who runs the risk of being accused of spending government money if you are giving money out.
Right.
So it's another dimension. So the question, asking a taxman that question is, like I said, very, very peculiar. But what I would say for what we do as the IRS and as a woman, you ensure accountability, which we do in our homes anyway. And one thing that has happened to us, especially because there's a woman leading the IRS, for maybe about the first time I've ever heard it in government, savings are being made from funding that is being given to us to run the service, but we run the risk of, thank you very much, we run the risk of being accused of spending government money if we're not careful. That's why I said it's peculiar, but I want to state it here, that the prudency of running the service, like I said, has ended up giving us a lot of savings, and we're constructing a mega structure from our savings. So for the IRS, the women don't come to me for such support. Right. But one thing I know, for the women in Kwara State, a lot of our commissioners and those who are politicians, there's a robust system of which women are empowered. And personally, what we do, even if it's not part of your responsibility as somebody in service, most of the women have established women forums on their own in supporting the women in their time. I have done that, and so many women I know who are part of government have also done that.
Right.
Thank you.
I know Hajat would like to add to that, because I know lots of women leaders face this issue, and I'd like you to say a few words.
Yeah, so thank you so much. In Kwara State, we have a QASIP, that's the Kwara State Social Investment Program, and we have a lot of programs already where the women are empowered. We have the Owo Arubo for the elderly. Okay. We have the Owo Ishowo for the market women, the trader money, the national one. So what we do, or let me say what I do, I have, today should have been my visiting day if I was in Kwara State, Thursday and Friday, because of course we are always busy, so we can't entertain visitors every day of the week. It would affect the job. So we try to connect with the women folk. Right. Of course, you see men also coming to visit us. We listen to their problems. Then where we can assist, then our women really don't even want too much. What they want sometimes is access. What they want sometimes is, oh, I have a naming ceremony, I have a wedding ceremony. Of course, you can't go without giving anything. Yeah. So your presence, we try to do that. Right. Weekends, sometimes 7 days a week, we are attending functions. Wow. So we still try to connect with them to ensure that we listen to them, to ensure that whatever we can do, we try. Because, I mean, during the election, we are all on the field working together. Yeah. So you can't say, now I'm in the office, I would abandon them. Right. And really, apart from being a he for she, our governor is a very simple man. His simplicity is second to none. Right. So if you're working with your principal, definitely you have to follow too. Okay. You know, so from him we have been able to learn a lot of that humility and to ensure that we connect with our people. So we do a lot of that very well with the women.
So thank you very much. Please give her a round of applause. I'm not sure how many minutes I have left. I don't know who's keeping the time to know when we can start our Q&A. I'd like to throw the floor open if you have any questions. There's probably a roving mic. I think I don't say something. But is there a roving mic? I'll start with Senator. She's actually was the first. And I'll come to you. Please. Yes, ma'am.
I wanted to say, first of all, all protocol duly observed. The question you asked about women finding it difficult to ask female politicians for help or that I don't agree with that. I think from my experience, women actually find it easier to ask a woman for certain things that might be harder to ask a man. Secondly, sometimes you're afraid that the man might, you know, as you said, feel color. A woman will not do that. So men, women, everybody across board come and ask for what they need. But adding to your governor, I'm most impressed. In fact, I'm overwhelmed because we just need 10, 15 of him in Nigeria and we wouldn't have a problem. The truth of the matter is, without women inclusion, forget everything, social, healthcare, education, everything. In fact, economic development will be greatly improved just by gender inclusion. So, joining all women to congratulate Kwara State, to honor the governor of Kwara State, because I'm speechless. So that was what I wanted to say.
Fantastic. Please pass on the mic to Kader Ahmed, please. And I'll come. Who's carrying the mic for me? Yes. Take it over there. I know I had a hand there, so I'll come on this, yes. So I'll take Kadara, then I'll come to you. Don't worry, we'll spread it. We'll take about 5 questions. Yeah.
Thanks for the opportunity, Motorayo. First of all, I don't want to flog a dead horse. Your governor has obviously done really well, and I think you are evidence of the work that he's doing. So well done. But, you know, I think Motorayo kind of alluded to this question, but I'm turning it a little bit on its head. When he goes and you end up with a governor who's slightly different, what are you individually doing to ensure that some of the work he's doing doesn't get swept away? And I understand that the National Assembly has passed a law and some of these things cannot be reversed, but these are just foundational work that he's doing. The work has to continue because there's a whole lot more that needs to be done. And so really, I'm interested in finding out what responsibilities you are taking individually. He's giving you platforms. How are you utilizing those platforms to advance the cause of women in Kwara and nationally? Thank you.
So do we take all the questions first before you respond? We're going to take a note. Can I have a pen to take a note? Let me take one on that side. Yes, you've been holding.
To speak for her, bring in my...
Okay, she will need a bit of assistance. Okay.
Sorry. Good afternoon, everyone. I thank Nigeria women for this opportunity. My name is Ajia Monsurat, the FCT Women Coordinator from Advocacy for Women with Disabilities Initiative. I am just a woman in Nigeria, and I'm a deaf woman. I don't have a question, but I want to add to what we have been discussing since. One thing that is very important is to carry everyone along. Why? Because for a woman, with disabilities, we need to be involved in everything that we are doing. As a deaf woman, I was here for the 7th and now today for the 8th engagement. Please, we need to bring everybody. We need to bring sign language interpreters for all these interventions that we are doing, so that we involve them and carry the deaf people along.
Okay. Fantastic.
For example, me, I sat here because of the people that are moving around. I'm supposed to sit at the front so that people will not disturb my view, but I patiently sat there. But people passing here, and they are blocking our view, making us to miss out on some information. If I have to watch my interpreter, and for example, as I'm here now, if people say, "How are you?" I will watch your mouth. And later, if you ask me, "What do you say?" I will tell you that you said, "How are you?" All because I'm watching your lips.
All right.
And you will be happy. So it is good if you give us opportunity, especially the deaf, so that we don't miss out on informations. Same with other persons with disabilities.
Thank you.
I am very happy today that you people have included the rural women and persons with disabilities, not like before. That they see us as charity people, but now they've seen it as necessity. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. I think the feedback has been taken, which is great. So you're right, the visibility is a bit blurred in that sense. So going forward, I think we need to move them forward. Yes, I know, yes, you've been waiting. I have a hand there, and I'll take one from that last side. Yes, she's been holding. Oh, there's a man. I'm sorry, let me take her first. And I'll come to you, sir.
Good morning, Nigeria women. Auntie Muraya, we are happy to have you here in Abuja.
Thank you, ma'am.
And thank you for that, your question. When you ask that all those women, after voting them into power, they disconnect from the rural women that voted them. I know 2 years ago, we spent almost 1 month with Dr. Abiola fighting for 40% women affirmation, gender-based in the National Assembly. Last year, during the political campaign, all those women that were vying for positions, they entered into all the rural villages, all the town, through the women leaders, asking them to mobilize these women who come out to ensure that women are being voted into power. And we voted them. But do you know that since that last year, there has not been any avenue, no town hall meeting, no thank you to go back to all these local women that voted them. Because I was one of the officials during the election. Every woman that comes out is looking for where is there woman to vote, especially here in FCT where I voted. But after that voting, no thank you. None of them have come to see us. That road that followed into the interior villages to look for those women leaders, to mobilize women for them. They didn't go back to those women leaders. They did not go back to these community-based leaders. Then those women that mobilized them, they are now looking at us. They've given you money. They've given you salt. They've given you rice, and you ate alone. When there's nothing of such, they didn't even call you to their inauguration. They didn't come back to say thank you. Not to mind how our children.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
What does thank you mean? Because
Thank
sometimes
you.
these women don't understand what thank you mean. What does thank you mean to
Thank
a rural
you that
woman?
means to me
Yes.
is you voted me into power. You invite us. Thank you and bring is empowerment to train their children or train those women to acquire skills that will help their family. There is nothing like that in FCT. Fantastic. As I'm talking now. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. See, I love where that conversation is going because I'm bringing it right here. Please, where's the mic? Over here.
Thank you for the opportunity. I'm Christophe Bazivamo, Rwanda ambassador, and I wish to use this opportunity to congratulate also Kwara State Governor for the achievement and to emphasize the fact that it is needed to ensure sustainability so that it is not done by him and later on others reverse for achievement. In Rwanda, we really believe in inclusion because we have seen the results. We should not actually leave anybody behind. Whenever you are moving together as women and men, you ensure sustainable socio-economic development.
Right.
And here we think that when you have a population of more than 50% or 52% in general in Africa, being women, and you move only with half of a population, moving forward, you are moving backward. When you make one step forward,
right,
you are pulled back at least 2 steps back.
Yeah.
So we think it is important, actually, and I wished, as you see, the room is full of women with few men, and for men to change, because this is a matter of mindset,
right,
and for men to change, maybe moving forward, it could be good to invite more than what you have or who you have invited in this session, so that these very great ideas you are putting on the table are not only owned by women, but they are also owned by men who can help actually the changes to happen.
Thank you.
So I congratulate you. I take this actually as a very strong tool for mobilization, so that women can speak the same voice, be on the same level, and then moving forward together, mobilizing men to move at the same level.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm really managing time the best I can because we have another session. So I know you want to, I'll give you 1 minute, sir. Just 1 minute, sir. Go ahead.
Good morning. I actually want to just congratulate the women commissioners. I was personally in Ilorin and Ofa, and I've actually seen the great work that Governor is doing. I hope to return again sometime to spend more time in Ofa. I actually took a road trip from Ofa all the way to Lagos. So I've seen quite all the good news that is talked about the governor of Kwara State. I just want to congratulate Toyin, my friend, with this 8th conference. She will not likely see me next year. This is possibly my last year. I've been here 6 years in Nigeria, and I just want to wish the Nigerian woman all the best. I think you have a lot going for you. You have made substantial progress with the gender bills. It's just a matter of advocacy to continue asking and making the case for those gender bills. I think once they are adopted and passed, it will be a landmark kind of legislation that will entirely change the position of the Nigerian woman. So this is my last meeting, Toyin. I might not be here next year. I have spent 6 years in your beautiful country, and I just wish you and all the women here the best going forward. Thank you.
All right. So I need to organize these questions. So first things first. I know Senator would like to respond to the question from that lady. Yes, I'll let you have the mic. The woman in white behind, yes, you're one. The lady in red, I have seen you, number 2. Then number 3. Then I think there's a woman in white hijab at the back, number 4. That's what we have right now. After that, that's we're done. I'm sorry, I can't take any more. So I'll let Senator. Okay. Yeah, everybody cannot talk, but don't worry. Let Senator respond to that final question.
For the record, I'm the only woman elected in the Federal Capital Territory. Now, there's this misconception. I suppose everybody defines what governance is. For me, governance is bringing the most to the people. I have been a senator for maybe a year and a half. I'm primarily a legislator. I have bills waiting to be passed, creating the nursing and midwifery fiscal in Agwagwalada. I have a maternal free health care for women. I have a few of such bills pending. But that notwithstanding, since I have been a senator, I have empowered, and I have everything on record, 1,000 people, 10,000 people. Now, it's not possible. FCT has 4 to 5 million people. For me to personally see everybody who voted for me. Oga, move, please. So, but I'm also building a 50-bed hospital in Dobi. I am putting an ICT center in Gwagwalada, in Nyanya. I paid for, from my personal money, 2,000 JAM students free. So at the end of the day, governance means to me bringing things to the general, for the general good, not for the individual.
Fantastic.
When I won the elections, I had a party, which was a nightmare for 5,000 people, so that as many people in my constituency can be said thank you to. The truth is that being a woman in the National Assembly is very, very, very hard. So I have to lobby, and Senator Nashasha is witness, for everything. When I leave here, I'll go sign in, then I go from ministry to ministry, so that all those things that doesn't get given by the executive, I can then sneak them into the budget from lobbying different ministers to put it in their budget. I have also renovated with my personal money and allowance the antenatal center in Gwagwalada Teaching Hospital. Any one of you can go and verify all these things. So I'm sorry, yes, women complain. I haven't come to them one by one. It's not possible. It's either I do that, and then you don't get anything else. Okay. So that is my frustration. I want women to understand that you are voting for other women so that our general lives will improve, not because she's going to come and meet you personally.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You see, I love what Senator, this is the mic to the lady in white, she's next. I love what Senator just said, and I think I love this conversation. The reason is because, let me put it this way, all the years where men don't they lead, their strategy be say, we'll be coming to be giving you money one by one like that. That's what they've been doing. Now women are taking over. Women are saying, it's not about the individual giving. Let me create systems that can affect us generally and globally. So yes, you might see that as he's not coming to me. But she's saying, I can't come to everybody. Let me do the right thing by creating for the greater good. And that's what maybe some are misinterpreting as they are not coming to us. So let us see how it is, okay? Let me take your own comments. The lady in red, the lady over here, and the lady in hijab. And we're done. Yes.
Good afternoon. I guess it's afternoon now, isn't it? Good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Lend me your ears, please. My name is Lami Tumaka. We started this thing with TOW. I was at the very beginning, number one, when she started. And I can tell you, TOW deserves our congratulations. We have come a long way. And I think this is almost one of the best when you bring rural women and we're able to communicate with them. So congratulations, my sister, my friend. My comment is, everybody has spoken about Kwara State. You are the model, you are the benchmark. Apart from it benefiting, apart from it making resounding success in Kwara State, is there any way you can replicate it in other states?
Oh, no.
Is there any way you can push for other governors to see what your governor is enjoying by having this number of women in his cabinet?
Thank you.
And I can attest to that. Like I said, my name is Lami Tumaka. I've worked at the maritime industry, which is basically a male-dominated environment. It's mostly men that are in the maritime industry. But a few women, the last but one DG, recognized inclusivity of bringing women on board. And we had almost 10 women in strategic departments, including finance, including marine environment, which is a core function of the agency. And I can tell you, because I was head of public relations, empirical evidence. The tenure he did that, there was a difference in the overall image of the agency. So when you give a woman, when you give women opportunity, the result, escalates and goes down to where you want it to go. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Please give the microphone to, so you've gotten the question, how do you hope to help? No, you're not, you're number 3. She's number 2 at the back. She's number 2 is waiting, the red. You're number 3, and there's number 4, and that's it, we're done. After that, I'll give you just 1 minute each to respond, and then we conclude, please.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
Good morning, my distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I'm really happy to be here. I'm from Better Life for Rural Women and Children. My name is Fatima Abakar Abdullahi. I'm from Kano. I'm a special advisor to the governor on special assignment, and I'm a grassroots politician. Basically, I was an aspirant since 2019. All of this discussion on women empowerment, women in politics, women are really encouraging women to be in all those sectors. But what major problem in women in governance or women in leadership is finance. I'm a living witness. I was a contestant, so I know what it means to be in the political sector while you don't have the funds. That is why mostly you see that the men have the capability financially to be in the political sector because they can finance, they can do campaigns, they can do so many things. But we, the women, we lack financial capabilities.
Right.
So I am appealing to Voice of a Women. I told my friend, please, I'm using this opportunity to please appeal to Her Excellency, our First Lady. She's encouraging women, and the Minister for Women Affairs. We need a lot of empowerment, trainings, and fundings for women in governance, women in politics, because we have able women that are ready to take the seat. But we lack finance.
Thank you very much. I think we've gotten your point. Let me come to number 3 here, and then number 4. I think we can only have, for our panelists, I'll just maybe have one person respond because of time to everybody. So if we can all just have who can respond. Let me go ahead, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for the convener. You see, I have been in this space for some time now. I want to go straight to my point. My name is Lady Rose Unyokwa Shinze. When you talk of women empowerment, I keep saying this over and over. What women we are looking for are off-takers. I sell Akamo, Sisi Cocoa Pap. You do produce it, nobody to buy. Is there no way government can put up something that will make sure that when we produce in the rural area, it can be taken over from us? Bought from us, and we have money to take care of ourselves. No woman is a beggar. No! Empower me by taking off my Sisi Cocoa Pap, and I'm happy about that. And I walk to the rural places for politics, and I run an NGO. Please, government and political associates and those that have it, what we are looking for are off-takers who will take off our produce from our hand and pay us money to go back to the farm, the way it is done, even in US, even in Australia, countries I have traveled to, even in China. Where is that dome that is built? That when I bring my produce, government will buy it, not the middle class person. Please,
point taken.
That's what
I like that. So maybe in Kwara, you can help us have an idea how your governor is doing something. Maybe when women are producing things, it's being taken off. Our final question at the back. Yes, the lady in white hijab. She's been holding, and that's it on this segment. Trust me, Mawakwa is taking another segment. You have other opportunities to ask questions. So let's just take that final question.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Zainab Abdul-Rashid. I work with the Women's Rights Advancement and Protection Alternative, RAPA. I really congratulate the Voice of Women for the 8th edition. Yeah, we're partners. I can see Auntie Tone over there. So I actually want to respond in a way to my sister over there that spoke about getting a thank you. Though I'm not a politician, we're social development workers, and we try to empower women in terms of building their capacities to be able to stand up for themselves. And this forum is a welcome platform to amplify women's voices in every way possible. So I want to lend my voice to ensure that the perception that when women get into office, they are not approachable is, nipped in the bud. That's number one. The perception that when women get into office, they are meant to, individually go to each woman that has voted for them to say thank you should not be the case.
Right.
The case rather should be that empowered women that know their rights and know what their communities and their families want for a brighter and better future would be able to create like a vision of what they want for themselves and their various communities and go as a group. I only want to encourage the women that have been elected into various offices or appointed, as the case may be, to give open arms to all the women groups that may want to approach them, in a very, very objective way. They should come with their priority acts and be able to, scan through to know what each community or group would want to be done for them.
Right.
In that way, it's going to build a rather better inclusive society where women do not go as singular voices, but they go to present their case as a group and a community for the greater good. So in line with what she has said, I really want to implore her to change her perception of that and hope for the brighter good, and in turn go back and act on this by coming together, if she's a woman leader, to come together and build her community, to create a vision board for her community with which they will be engaging every future woman who may want to also contest to see their priority needs as a community and be able to work with them when she gets into office.
Thank you very,
Thank you
very
so
much.
Yeah.
I think we've gotten quite a number of questions already, and I'll let our panelists to say just 30 seconds each. I'm not sure who wants to go, maybe one or two people, but I think what our third speaker said was very crucial about off-taking, how produced, because I mean, there's off-takers. I was going to mention that there's a lady in the audience, Amaka Nwosisi. She makes bags, and what she has done is encourage people. She's not a politician, but she's a Nigerian who has seen people in Enugu, and she's encouraging them to work. So what you're saying is that we're Nigerians, we produce. Let these politicians help us as off-takers. So I get you, you're right. Let me come to Kwara. What are you doing in that regard, and what are you also doing in all the questions you've heard so far on women? Let me see. Okay, Honorable wants to go, and maybe still two of you. Go ahead.
I want to respond to Aja Kadaria's question where she's asking about the sustainability of what the governor is doing, that if someone comes in as a new governor, if he or she is going to pick up from where the governor stops. We all know the governor is serving his second term, and purposefully I can say he won the second election because he does well during his first tenure. And immediately when he went for his certificate of return at the INEC office, what he announced first is 6-month maternity leave for women. The first thing the governor did at the INEC place was to announce 6-month maternity leave, which is, he even said it is even optional, because some women might feel, I can't sit down for 6 months. If I want to, if I don't want. Like me, I don't want to sit down for 6 months. I can't sit at home for 6 months doing nothing. So we just had our local government election. We have female, and where there is no male, where there is no female as a chairman, they were all deputized by a female. As a grassroots politician, our message when going out is to tell people, majorly the women folk, is to tell them, if you want this that the governor is doing, we have to vote for whoever is supporting women, whoever has women manifesto. So what we need is enlightenment. And I'm a young person. I got the ticket at the age of 26, and I can say what the governor did at that time, even for us as a female. As a leader of the party, he subsidized for us the nomination forms and the declaration. We only paid 500,000 at then, where I think the men were paying up to 2M at then. So it's same during this local government election. So these are things. Whoever is coming on board, you have to have a women manifesto. Right. What are you going to do for women? Right. So I think this is already we have a 35% affirmative action bill in the state, which it will forever, inshallah, be like that. And what we are working towards now is for more women in the elected position, which already Kwara is even working towards that. So I don't think that's a serious issue. At this time, we are enlightening, our eyes are open.
Thank you very much. We need to wrap up, unfortunately.
Yes,
you want it just 1 minute? You want to say something? I have to wrap up. I've already been told I have to wrap up.
Moderator, please, can you... there are two major questions that I noted. The first question I asked about what we are doing differently in Kwara and to ensure that all these foundations that have been laid by His Excellency don't just get washed away after his office. And the first thing His Excellency has done for us women in Kwara is our gender composition law that advocate for 35% affirmative action, inclusion of women in political offices and appointment. This is for me more like an opportunity which we are grabbing as women in the state. That is the foundation that we need the most. And for us, what we will do, what we are ensuring as grassroots women, and many of my colleagues seated here, is to ensure that even after His Excellency, we grab our copy of the opportunity that has been laid down. This is an opportunity we got. How do we do it? We are positioning ourselves. He has already positioned many of us in the political space. What we are doing is to have a better representation, ensure that we win the heart of the people and other women in our surroundings. The second question that I'd like to speak a little
more. We're so sorry. The reason is because time has gone and there's another session, but you are still available. They're going to become. You have the opportunity to actually approach them to get answers. But I really have to go. I'm really sorry. That is all we can take on this. But thank you very much. Please give them a round of applause. We have this conversation. I mean, I'm hosting a breakfast show on TV, and I think that these conversations should be taken to the grassroots. So I'm really, really grateful for this opportunity. Thank you very much, and then have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you too. Please, a round of applause for our guests. This has been a truly insightful panel session. I see that we're not clapping. Are we tired, or are we angry that we had to end this? There are 2 more sessions. If we continue, we're going to sleep here, and there's so much more we have to do. But a very big thank you. Yes, please, a group picture. Yes, our photographers, videographers, please take a group picture of our panelists. We sincerely appreciate our panelists, and a special appreciation to Morayo Afolabi Brown for helping us moderate that session. All right, just taking us further into the program, there's a comment here that came in online. And this one here says, so proud of these women, brainy, bold, focused, yet beautiful, more grace and heights for you. All thanks for making us proud. That's from someone who has joined us online. And not to dwell too much on this as we have so much more ahead, just one very important point there. Set your standard and live up to your standard. VOW2024. Nigerian women matter. We keep forgetting. VOW2024. I don't know about now, but for me, next vow.
Welcome back from the live telecast. We'll now continue with our regular programs. Stay tuned.
Meet Benga Oreshegun, a fearless voice and an advocate for the truth. He's bringing fresh energy and bold insights to Journalists Hangout.
Get ready for deeper analysis and dynamic perspectives. Join me and Babajide Kolade Otitoju with other veteran journalists on Journalists Hangout. Weekdays from 5 p.m. and on Sundays, 1:30 p.m.
Every major news story is with Bennett Perspective.
and layered with different levels of impact.
Hello. What time did this happen? We will be right there.
At TVC News, we follow the big and major news, gathering the facts, witnessing the outcome.
I am here live at the aftermath of the approval of the new national minimum wage.
We are TV Station of the Year, not just for breaking news, but for being first, fair and accurate. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Muhammad Ali was born and raised in Louisville, Kentucky on January 17, 1942. His birth name was Cassius Marcellus Clay Jr. He began training as an amateur boxer at age 12, and at 18 he won a gold medal in the light heavyweight division at the 1960 Summer Olympics and turned professional later that year. In his early years as a professional, Clay was more highly regarded for his charm and personality than for his ring skills. He sought to raise public interest in his fights by reading childlike poetry and spouting self-descriptive phrases